Finding quality clients takes a strategy. Learn how to be a rebel against the so called experts. Unfortunately, way too many website programmers simply think short term, and that will diminish your opportunities for quality clients over a 1 to 5 year period. This is My Online Toolbox, providing weekly quick tips and reminders in all facets of learning how to grow your business with more quality leads, constantly emphasizing the word more and then the word quality before we talk about leads. We target online marketing predominantly with a hybrid of education, a strategy, and then implementation to make it happen. And what we want people to do, we're just jumping to the end because we were just on a fairly large webinar the other day, and it was amazing how many people follow us in various different avenues, and they forget that you could also go to a centralized spot. Whether you like Facebook, you can go to the My Online Toolbox Facebook page, or you can go to the My Online Toolbox YouTube channel if you prefer to follow us there. And that is where you will get automatic weekly updates that, regardless of where else you go, on other forum topics or LinkedIn forums, whatever. But if you go there and like or subscribe to the pages, you will see all of the activity. Forgive us for the quick interruption. We were just surprised about how many people repetitively said the same thing. This doesn't matter whether you have a website or no website, but you need to remember constantly that most people around you think short term, especially the younger generation. It simply isn't in their nature to think long term, and whether you like it or not, as a business owner, you must incorporate long term strategies because many of the people around you will not be with you during the long term. So the foundation of what you laid today is what's relative towards what you think you're going to get 1, 2, 3, and even 5 years or more out. So what we want people to remember, to never forget, that finding quality clients takes a strategy. And yes, there are certain things that could be done in the short term to make you feel good that your marketing is working, but you need to set the foundation towards where you plan to go in the future. Here, what we're doing is we just got a client live, and this is all real. And what we like to do is, unlike many of our competitors who constantly on their channels, it's amazing, all you do is see them talking about themselves over and over and over again, or they're showing books, or they're showing everything, but they're not talking and showing real results. And it's a big difference because they always probably come from the generation of the you just keep on yelling and screaming and talking. Eventually, you do get clients, and it does work. However, what you need to do is see reality. In this particular case, of course, many people offered this company how they can get them online in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, and whatnot. But the reality is, it was impossible. Simply offering this company a solution in a short amount of time was impossible because it took the owner a certain amount of time to specifically learn what he really wanted in the first place. And then it took time to accumulate the content. And yes, when we made it to the programming side was much easier. But the reality was we were handing the content and the strategy to the programmers on a silver platter. And so they had to do their thing, of course, at the cosmetic level and also at the SEO, which is called search engine optimization level. But the foundation for what the client does, what his real target market is, with customer validation, all took time to accumulate. So now, to make a quick point, we're not going to give away everything because he did put in a lot of time and spent money to make it happen. But when we go to the services side, here he specifically, as a remodeler, targets kitchen and bathroom remodeling. And when we go to the kitchen remodeling page, you will find a very detailed oriented, all his content, again, his content, his pictures, not copied or stolen or borrowed or purchased from other people, but his imagery representing specifically what he does. And then to go deeper, his territories are very specific into two sections of where he is, in this particular case, California. But when you go to the areas served, you will see that the areas are very specific, and regardless of what individual page you choose, you will find very specific content targeting those areas. And should I say unique content? Each page is not quickly copied and quickly changed with a few buzzwords in order to show that he went live in 30 to 60 days. It took time to build unique content. And the reason is the strategy, which we'll get to, we're going to do a follow up post. The strategy for him continuing on a 1, 2, 5 year basis was all laid day one. So everybody else who was approaching this particular company saying what they could do in a short amount of time was lying because, one, if they did it in a short amount of time, it would be done like garbage, number one. Number two, it would not be allowing him to create his unique branding for his future. And then going on to another cool tab to see the reviews. Rarely will you find companies really go out of their way to meet with their clients and get those videos together professionally, in this particular case, where the videos represent the best of their target market. It shows the best different products that they do, the services, excuse me, the locations, and it covers a plethora of topics. And again, we're not giving away the details because he paid. So we just want to give the idea out that when we're out in the market, at least my online toolbox, we're always getting people asking us to compare against another company. And surprisingly, many times it's always based on time. Oh, company XYZ programming said they could do this in 30 to 60 to 90 days. And by default, we always tell everyone we'll pass because we're not going to even have our strategy done for 60 to 90 days. So when the other person's producing a result in that time, the bottom line is it's going to be done like garbage, and it's definitely not going to be done strategically for someone's future. So we just pass on the opportunity, let the other people think they won, and they may get some leads for the short term, but we know long term it's going to fizzle as time passes. So we want to remind you when it comes to your story, you need to control your story. And this is a typewriter, by the way. The reason we like to use that is it takes time to create your projects, estimate them, get the clients, do the work, and capture the story. Don't be in a rush to market it incorrectly because whether you like it or not, the youthful generation has no idea how to properly position for 5 to 10 years out. There are some people who are pretty good, but many are just pushed into short term results, and it forces them to create short term strategies. They will tell you what they need you to hear. Many of them will read a book or two or promote their own books that are all based on short term success. And that's all we're looking to do, at least even my online toolbox case. We are shooting for long term success stories that requires a strategy. Yes, it's the smaller segment of the market because most people, unfortunately, are short sighted, which is why there's a plethora of all these lead gen services still out there. And that's what we want you to remember. To be a rebel, pay attention to what quality means. Take a moment to learn, knowing that many of the experts have not learned themselves over a long period of time. We want you to value yourself for the outcome and don't let others rush to promote you, especially with your websites. It's just too important, at least for longevity. We want to remind you to grow your business with more quality leads, and finding quality clients does take a strategy. Please remember to either like us on our Facebook page, subscribe to us on our YouTube channel, and never forget to start planning yesterday for next year's marketing and profits. Have a healthy week, enjoy your holiday weekend, and we will see you next week.